Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand 64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States of America. It is almost noontime. It's a little bit before, actually, 11:59, and that can on a Wednesday. And that can only mean that it's time for some Generations Minecraft server. And so we will be building on the server today in survival mode. So let us switch over to that screen. Let me see. Game capture. Here we are. Full screen. And let's see if this works. Yeah, you know, since I set up the Minecraft account on the new system, my commands are not working anymore. Not the way they used to. Like, we used to be able to do / summon like this. Let me see. I think I can read that. Gato Pendejo, I think it is. Yes. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. And so, yeah, I used to be able to do my / summon, and then used to be able to do summon lightning. And see, you look at the message down there. Can't find element of Minecraft lightning. You know, I used to be able to put the coordinates in, and then boom, we get our pow opening lightning bolt and stuff. And for some reason now we're not getting that. I don't know why. Yeah, let me make a little bit of an adjustment here to my camera window. Let me see, Thundercam right here. And let me see, I want to let me do Control Z like that. There we go. I think that's good enough right there. But yeah, I used to be able to make that do that command, and for some reason, I don't know, that doesn't work anymore, you know. And I have my permissions set on our server from Shockbyte and everything. I just don't know. Maybe it's _bolt. I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, lightning _bolt. All right, so that's been changed a little bit. All right, so let me see. That would be X coordinate. Right now, I would want that to be from where I am, -20. That puts it 20 blocks west of me, of my current location. My Y, up or down, I want it right about the same height, so that's just tilde. And then a north to south. Similarly, I want it to stay right there, north to south. So that should do it. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I wonder if that hit outside in the wrong direction. What happens if I do this? Should it be +20? Yeah, it should have been positive. Oh no, we got to run outside, make sure we didn't destroy anything with that lightning bolt. All right, let's see. Everything okay out here, please? Is everything all right? I think it is. Might have struck the Chamber of Commerce here, or just outside the Chamber of Commerce, because it would have been 20 blocks this way, so it probably would have been right about in this area. So I think we're okay. I think we're okay. All right, I'm going to bring the music down just a little bit more. Background music should be in the background. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Alrighty, and then let me see. We're going to have to do a little bit of sleeping. That's right. So let's go around here, and let's go do that. One of the things I did do a little off-camera work here to get caught up here in Generations, because I feel like I'm woefully behind here. So I put some of the signage here on the Bubble Vader for the South Wing. It says South Wing there. And then when we go up to here, like this, you can see I have the markers, the signage for the different levels. This is South Wing Level 1, rooms 104 to 106 on the South Wing. And then you may remember from our last time working on the server here that we finished the mezzanine. Both levels. There's this, which is the face of the hotel, but I'm going to save that for last. And so my room is down here in the north wing. Up here in the north wing? There you go. Yeah, so we were standing out here, right? And then, let me see. So we were at 42, so we would be over here at 22. So it struck right about here. That's where that lightning bolt struck. Not good. All right. It's weird when you're in F5 third person because it's kind of like the coordinates are sort of like opposite from where you are. So if I'm facing this way, it's like my camera that through which I'm viewing myself is facing west, but my Minecraft avatar is actually facing east. And so that's why I, instead of -20 to make it further west, I needed to make a +20 to be further east from where I am. You can kind of think of it this way and then heading back from here. So that stuff is a little bit weird. That is kind of weird. But enough excuses for my incompetence in that. Let's get on with what we're going to do here today. All right, so let me go over here to the other system momentarily, and let me tweak a few things there. Let me sit up nice and straight here. I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit like that. There we go. Okay, so what do I have planned for today? Let us take... Now, again, this is... I usually play almost entirely in survival mode in here in Generations in the server. I consider it a survival vanilla for the most part. I do slip into creative mode every now and then to do things like contests and events where we have guests on and things like that. Or things like this, where I want to fly around and showcase some of the stuff, right? So let's go into creative mode here just so I can whiz around here and I can show some of the stuff on the hotel. The hotel is pretty much finished. There are 3, maybe technically 2 things that need to be done. We need to populate the aquarium bubble vaders on the north and south ends. We need to do that. And then after that, we need to come around and do the face of the entryway here to the hotel. And so we really have those 3 things to do on the hotel itself. And then I'm pretty much finished the hotel. Finally, I know, right? I might afterward do some beach terraforming here and make this into a nice swimming beach out here. One of the things I'm going to try to do is use the new fill biome command. And so you can select blocks and then fill the biome with war motion, for example, and change those block areas into war motion biome. And again, I know that this is I say that this is a survival server, but some things like that I don't mind doing, and so I'll transform this edge of the island out here into a beach biome out here, and then I'll do some terraforming to it once I do that. So and that'll pretty much finish it up for the hotel and its surrounding areas. I might do some stuff here, some decorative work here on the sides and in the front, I'm certainly not going to leave that mycelium in the front here along the sides here, and maybe, clear out Kachi's prank. Princess Nebula just subscribed for 24 months. Nebs, welcome. So let me do a quick shout out for the mighty, the one and only Princess Nebula, our fellow buffoon for Buffooncraft, a good friend of the stream and moderator. You know what I almost miss? What do you almost miss? What do you almost miss? You calling me P-Nebs. Yeah. I think I'm the one who coined that name, right? So, during the early days when I first met Princess Nebula and Princess Tabs on Oscar Diggs' stream, I used to contract their name to P-Nebs and P-Tabs. And then that got contracted even more to just Nebs. Yeah, but I think Nebs, I think it's because we're on Generations, and I don't know about you, but I get really nostalgic for those days when I'm on here, right? Because this Generation 5 has been going on for, this is its second year, I think, for us on this. And same, yeah, that's about when we met. Now, Princess Nebula has been a guest here on Generations a few times, and we've done, had certain adventures on here together, and events on here together, and builds we've done on here, and certainly not the last either. So, but we're wrapping things up here for Generations, wrapping up our hotel build, and so today I'm going to be working on gathering resources to populate the aquariums, which was Nebula's idea, by the way. And so I'm going to be flying off and getting stuff I need here. So I found a coral reef that's pretty remote. When we met, you were still working on a trading hall. Yeah, so the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. So the Chamber of Commerce has one more thing that it needs to, in order for completion, maybe some more things, but to get the villagers out of these very, very early game villager reserve boxes. And I've decided what I'm going to do is make a villager breeder level up here. And so we can distribute the villagers down below from there. So, not that we really need to, because they're pretty much all set on each level. This level needs some more over here. But the other levels are pretty much all set. And this column over here is for the Bubble Vader. This column over here, though, I'm not really sure what to do with this. I may use this as a item Bubble Vader to bring up pumpkins from down below. So I may wind up doing that. So we have the pumpkin farm, and also we have to refit a couple levels of the pumpkin farm here with melons, so we get both pumpkins and melons, and make some storage for these, because this storage is just so maxed out. This thing is so powerful. It's so overpowered. It's ridiculous. And then also the cane farm next to it is just, these farms are insane. I love these farms. I also love how they're vertical slices, and they make a very, very small footprint on the server. So it's as opposed to the horizontal ones with the flying machines. The flying machines are fun to build and they're fun to watch, but man, they take up a lot of real estate. So, but that's what I'm going to do. So one of the things, though, that I struggle with here on this, well, I don't know if I struggle with it or not, but is is mining out a coral reef. It's just heartbreaking because they're so beautiful, right? And so one of the things I try to do is avoid the coral reefs that are nearby areas that I think that we're going to build. And I try to find a remote one that's way out somewhere where we're not going to build out by there. And then I'll just be the one-man eco-disaster out there and totally destroy that coral reef because there are plenty of really nice ones close by, and I want to preserve those. So that being said, I actually took a little time before the stream to prepare this time. And I think I'm properly prepared this time out. I got a couple of extra shears here so we could get the seagrass and some other things like that, sea pickles, things like that. I've got plenty of tools loaded in the ender chest. I got extra shulkers to bring items back and stuff. And I'm fully equipped and all set to go here. So without further ado, I'm going to do a little bit more sleeping up there, and then we'll head out. We'll head out to a coral reef, and we'll start bringing back items for our coral reef. So our aquarium. And I don't think I'm going to get around to actually starting to build it today. If so, I'm going to build one, but I'm just going to gather resources today, pretty much. Yay for a preparedness. Yes, I hear you. Usually I have almost no time to prepare for my streams at all, especially lately. But this time, we took a little time and we did a little prep work. One of the things I wanted to show was the space in which we are going to eventually be populating. So we can go up like this, and so it's these spaces in between here. So we've got quite a bit to do. We're going to make coral structures that run all the way up to the top up here. We're going to put all kinds of kelp and plants and stuff in here, and tropical fish. We cannot put, though, the axolotls in here because they will kill everything in here. So squiddies we'll put in here, glow and regular squiddies, and try to find some sea turtles maybe, and we'll put those in there. I was thinking on maybe putting some dolphins in here, but I think they're just going to die, despawn. Even if I name tag them, they're going to do things like embed themselves in the walls and suffocate and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe I will put the dolphins in this area here, and maybe they'll stay. I'm not sure. We'll try it out. But we'll put all kinds of critters in here. See how many different kinds of tropical fish we could scoop up with the buckets and things like. Oh, speaking of buckets, yeah, I need to bring more buckets with me. Yeah, so I have to go down into the depot and go grab some buckets before I leave, and then we'll fly off. So let's go do that. Oof, I missed it. So let's head into the depot. I guess I should have just flown over to the iron farm, right? But I might have some ingots of iron hanging around in these chests here. Wow, the game sounds seem like they're very loud. Let me look at the meter here. Wow. Yeah, they feel like they're kind of loud. Feel like they're loud. They sound like they're loud. Let's do this. Music and sounds. See, my master volume is way down there at like 10%. I'm bringing it a little bit more down to like maybe 5. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Let's do this. So, Nebs, how's the weather out there your way? It's very, very wet here. It's been raining extremely heavily. We've gotten quite a bit of hail down here on the valley floor. And the foothills not too far north and east and west of us along the San Bernardino Range, we've actually gotten some very heavy snow up there. Yeah, the mountains look beautiful now. And so we're just waiting for the snow the rain and the snow and stuff to subside It's been raining very, very heavily this winter here. Okay, I think I'm just going to go to the iron farm and go grab some iron up there. Oh, wait. I could just get some here. Ooh, one of the things I have to do is I have to shut off the music. Or else we're going to get the copyright strike there. There we go. Let's go get some over here. The wind has been crazy. It's warm, 79 degrees F. Okay, pretty warm there, actually. Here it's been down into the 50s and 40s Fahrenheit-wise. Very, very wet. Lots of flooding. In fact, the folks who live up in Big Bear, up in the mountains, up in the resorts up there, they're trapped. So Red Cross in the state has closed down all of the roads and has been trying to get supplies up there because they're cut off. They don't really have much in the way of their own supplies up there. They rely on shipping and trucking in all of their supplies from the valley, and all the roads are just completely shut down up there. So let's make ourselves some buckets. Let me see. Let's head on over to here. You know, I don't really know how many of these I'm going to need. I'm not really that concerned about it, though. Because anything else I need here, I can just stash and I can put into my... Oh, yeah, they stack in 16s. Okay, got it. I remember now. Oh, hey, we get to do a Thunderhand launch. We haven't done this in a long time. Here we go. Here we go. Can I still do this? No, I can't. Come on, wings. Open. There it is. Okay. All right, so let me see. The coral reef that I found earlier today is out this way. It is somewhat south and west, and it is a little bit more south than it is west. Now, see, we have some over here, right? We have a coral reef right here very close to us, but this is beautiful, and I really don't want to destroy this, especially right near this island here. It's lovely. So I don't want to ruin this. So we've been waiting for the rain to subside. I mean, it's good that we get the rain because, you know, a drought and whatnot, we live in a desert. So it's great that we get that. But this heavy for the rain over this sustained period of time is actually pretty bad. We're getting quite a bit of flooding. There's a lot of damage. Plus, you know, I have a lot of work to do. Here's our slime farm. I remember this place. It's so cool. Yeah, so we've been waiting for, you know, a lot of people have leaking roofs. We have a couple of leaks in our roof that have to be fixed. And you really don't find out about it until it rains because we have those terracotta tile roofs, and they really suck for that. But also, you know, I have some work in the garage and outdoors that I need to do. And because I have to use power tools like our table saw and things like that. And I can't use them in the garage because the dust gets everywhere and we need our garage for storage. And so I have to do that outside, and I can't use those tools outside in the rain. So, okay, we're almost there. So today the rain is supposed to break today. And then we're supposed to get the rest of this week, and the following week is supposed to be all sun. So we'll get to dry out quite a bit. Okay, we're good going south. And now we can go east a little bit. So it's cool that we get to do a resource gathering stream today. I don't do these kinds of streams too often, so it's kind of nice just to take a break. Okay, so here we are. Right around negative 3,000, positive 2,000. And we're just about in the middle of this, um, just about in the middle of this reef. These things are so beautiful, huh? So I'm going to swim down a little bit more this way. And so, like I said, I took a little time to prep for this. And so I'm looking for a good spot to place the conduit, and I'm thinking right here. Oh, well, yes, I brought a conduit with me because we're going to take quite a bit of this stuff out. So let's do that. Let's get our ender chest here like this. And let me see. That'll be in tools. Tools number 2. Toolbox 2. Here's our conduit here. We could do this. And, of course, we need the prismarine for the conduit, right? And I went and put the chest and the shulker down in the area in which I have... Is this silk touch? Yes. Okay. In the area in which I need to set this up. So we got both of those back. I can put this right about here. See, respiration 3, but I'm still running out of air. Awk! All right. Let's get some bubbles. There we go. We're doing well. Let's head on down here. Like this. Awk. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to do some sleeping here pretty soon, so let's go grab some air. And I remember the day that Princess Nebula herself told me, hey, you know what you can do? You can actually sleep underwater. You know that, right? You know that, right, Thunder? And at that time, I did not. But now I do. That's one thing I've really enjoyed about streaming and meeting other streamers and other Minecrafters, and allowing the back seating on the stream and stuff. Being associated with the buffoons and the buffoon craft, being a buffoon. God, I've learned so much about Minecraft. I'm such a different Minecrafter now than I was even just a year ago. It's so cool. You know what? I'm going to leave that right there. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to try it. All right, so let's do this. 2, 3 like that. 2, 3 like that. And let me see. We'll bring this up like this. Bring this up like this. And we'll place our friend the conduit. Now you can't place it on the bottom. You have to put it right in the middle like that, and then take this out. And there we are. Okay, so now we have constant light and constant air, and that makes working here a lot easier. And we have our little bed right there, so we can just swim over here and lay down if we need to. And so I'm just going to work from the center outward here. It's going to make things a little bit easier. We can also put some shulkers down here. So for when the inventory gets full, I think I can just do that, right? And I don't think it'll affect the conduit adversely, right? So we'll just do that, and I have 3 more right here. Well, come on, hands, really? You know what, I'd leave that there, but I want to put it down the way I wanted to put it down. Not the way that Subbrain slapped it down there. Okay, so we could go around, and one of the first things I want to do is get some of the seagrass over here. I bought some crappy shears first. I have some good shears in the toolbox, but I'll use these guys up first. Let us get the balance of our prismarine back into here. That's good. And I think one of the other things I was going to do, too, is put a beacon, set a beacon in place here. Look, I almost... swim up here to go get some go grab some air, and I forgot I don't need to. Let me see. Going to become a merman, Thunder? No, I think I'm gonna keep things the way they are from the waist down. I kind of like that. It's not a full conduit. Full conduit is adding the 3rd ring. Oh yeah, that's right. We need the horizontal ring here. That's right. Thank you. So, that which Nebs she speaks of is this one. Here we go. That's right, Nebs. Thank you. And this is why we allow back seating. There we go. Okay, so that should do it now. And you know what? I just may leave that open. Yeah, so I grabbed some crappy shears here just so I could go around and get some of these. And then when I clear out enough space here, I'll... when I clear out enough space, I can... come on, complete your thought there, Thunder. I'll set up the beacon. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Brain. Oh my god, sea pickles. All right. And, you know, after we do a little bit of work here, we can then go clean off the top surface for anything that we've left. Now, as far as the coral fans are concerned, do we use shears for that? Okay, that's no. No, we don't. Silk touch pickaxe. Yes! Okay. These coral fans look very beautiful. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get all different kinds of colors and types and things like that. One of the other things we're going to have to do is get some glow lichen too. We're going to need all kinds of subtle lighting effects under there. So let's do this. Let's do this. We'll get inside here. Make sure we get all the fans and stuff. We'll get sea pickles. That's good. All right. Some more of the fans like this. That's not what I wanted to do, hands. Okay, this is looking good right here. Looking good. Great. And one of the things I have to remember is to actually mine downward from above so the things float up into my inventory. That just makes things a little easier later on. I still feel a little dismay as I'm doing this and destroying this beautiful biome. One of the things I might wind up doing, I don't know if I'll do it for Generation 5 or not, but when we finally move on to Generation 6, I may install the mod where you can farm coral. We've already done that on the Buffooncraft server, and I say we, I mean the Buffoon Primes, Nova and Chris. And I may just do that on Generations as well. It just seems like a shame to destroy this, it really does. But then again, you know, all these resources are here too, so. Now, if that's a thunderstorm, and then I can sleep this off, but it is not. Okay. Let's grab this. Get some more of the natural stuff here. Great. Oh man, I gotta remember about those fans, those coral fans. Okay, we can take this down with a pickaxe now. Let's get a little bit of food here. Let's get caught up in the chat. That gives you the full distance and stuff. Yes, it does. More sea pickles. I thought you had enough of sea pickles. Okay. So for any of you, especially who were tuning in for the early season Thunderhand streams from the Buffooncraft, I built just an incredibly huge build in the sea for that. And for the subtle lighting effect, I incorporated 17,680 sea pickles. And so, yeah, we used a lot of those. So, and here we are on Generations mining more sea pickles. Okay, so I've got to get the coral fans first before I break the blocks. Otherwise, they don't drop the coral fans. So I got to be careful for that. And is it nighttime up here? Should we do some sleeping? One good thing about the conduit is I believe it also keeps the mobs away too. So we don't have to worry so much about, well, we don't have to be concerned about come on, complete your thought. Drowns spawning. That's what I'm trying to say. Not a very good multitasker. No, I am not. I wonder. Yeah, okay. So we shouldn't switch back and forth to the shears, really. We should just keep using the pickaxe, because we can get the sea pickles with a pickaxe too. I don't think we can get the grass though. No, alright. So sea pickles, we could just use the pickaxe, but the grass we need the shears. And I want to just use up those shears and have them break. So I've got so many shears left over from the wool farm. Like I said, when we get enough room here, I may set up the beacon and put some haste on it. Maybe, maybe not. Squiddy! Wow. I mean, look at all of this coral right here. It's just... I mean, we won't really have to demolish too much of this coral reef. All I want to do is make sure that I have, you know, a fair amount, couple of stacks of each kind of item. And that should really be enough. Fuck. I missed that seagrass, but there's plenty of seagrass to be had. So maybe I should focus on just cleaning these things off first, and then when all the coral fans have been cleared and all of the seagrass has been cleared, then I should remove the blocks. But wow, look at the size of this coral colony. I think they call them colonies. It's nice just to get in here and do this kind of work, though. The next stage of the Buffooncraft build right now is underway. And I will be doing that stream on Friday 3 to 5, and I suggest you drop in for that. I'm actually doing the most difficult part of my build right now. So, let me see. It will keep them far away. It'll keep them away so far, yes. Talking about the conduit and the drowns and mobs. And be back in a bit. Need to go lurk. Okay, yeah. Appreciate the lurk, Nebs. Go do what you need to do. We won't be going anywhere for a little while anyway. Stream ends at 2 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time, so got plenty of time. But what I was getting at was the Buffooncraft build is at a very, very difficult stage right now. Probably this stage of the build is going to likely be the hardest thing I've ever built in Buffooncraft. And maybe even in Minecraft in general. And so it's my point is it's nice to get in here and do something like just some good old resource gathering like this, where I don't have to do quite so much math. I mean, I like doing math, but the math for this is a little bit hard. The geometry for this, even for me, it's a little bit difficult. So. All right, let's start clearing out some blocks, and we'll just have to be we'll just have to avoid fans like that and go back. Get them afterwards. See, there's a fan attached to that one. There aren't any attached to these ones though. In a moment, you know, maybe we should take this opportunity, even right now, to just swim up to the surface and collect the items that have all floated up here. Look, it's nighttime up here, too. I mean, technically, we don't really need to sleep. We've got the conduit just cranking away, so we're not to be concerned about mobs or anything like that, but still. We may wind up with a phantom situation, right? So, and I don't think the conduit will be keeping the phantoms back. Unlurk, I am back. Laugh out loud. Welcome back. All right, so we're just clearing things out here. And we were working on this part of the reef right here. And we need to clear these off before we clear the blocks. That's the idea. So I think I can grab these blocks. Oh, we lost some fans on the other side, but... yeah, we need to empty the inventory too. But we're getting some good stuff here. One thing that's going to be difficult to find, though, is the turtles. Those are going to be hard to find. Don't really know where those are on the Generations server. So we might have to do a little bit of turtle research. And really, I'm not really looking for the turtles so much as I'm looking for the eggs. Because I really don't want to do things like putting turtles in mine carts and bringing them up to the top of the hotel and dropping them down. So yeah, I want no part of that. So I'm thinking if I can just place the eggs in the aquariums and then hatch them, that would be the better way to go. Again, you know, if I wind up trashing a few of these coral fans, that's not such a big deal. Like that one. Just as long as I get enough of each type, right? So... don't forget, you still need to sleep because after night 3, the phantoms can spawn. Wander does not count as a roof. That is right. And that's what we were saying earlier, just before you came back from Lurk. You can hear all of our weird conduit noises. Let's do a little bit of this. When we get back to Mushroom Island Central, right around the beach area where we're going to terraform, we'll take our kelp from there because we're going to wind up losing that kelp anyway when we change that biome. So we'll just grab our kelp from there. So we've got a nice, relaxing stream today. Almost an ASMR stream. If you like the sound of coral blocks being mined. In the dulcet tones of Thunderhand 64. So our next stream is our Buffooncraft stream. As I said, that's Friday, 3 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. Not only will I be working on my own build, but I'm going to fly over and look at some of the other builds too, especially for some of the buffoons who have not been on as regularly as the rest of us. They've made some very recent progress, and that needs to be shown. So I'm going to spend a little of my stream just giving you guys some sneak previews of that. The only reason why I don't do like a full showcase of their builds is I'd really rather have you guys attend their streams and go check that out. So, but some of our buffoons who have been in absentia for a little while have actually logged on and made quite a bit of progress. All right. Where to attack next? Look, I mean, look at all the goodies we can get from this place right here. So let's go do that. I've also been doing a little work on this on the studio here. One of the really important items that I've been holding off on, and quite recently, largely because of the rain, is the workbench here. I now have 2 PCs, and I need to accommodate them. So one of the things I've done is I've designed an attachable, detachable shelf that can be, well, attached to the workbench here, and underneath where I can place... right now I'm planning on placing both PCs down there, and the power amp from my sound system will go down there. And a couple other items too. And so right now I'm building that out. If you look at our Discord, get over here and fix my typo. There we go. And if you check out our Discord, I've posted some pics of that along with all other kinds of cool pics. And pics from our community are in there and stuff. So please go check that out. I'm posting pics of the progress of the build, the IRL build of the workbench shelf. So I'm custom building it myself. I usually do with things like that because you really can't buy things like that that are going to function the way I want them to. And I have some reclaimed lumber, some pine boards that have been cast out And so I reclaimed them, and I'm using them to build the shelf. So it's not fine furniture. It's going to be under the bench in the back. It's going to attach onto it there. When Mrs. Thunderhand and the boys go to Taiwan, I will probably paint it after it's done. And I'm just going to put a coat of appliance paint on it, black, and I'm going to set it in the back. Because they're pine boards. They're in pretty good shape, but they're not in good enough shape where you can just leave the wood finish and like put some polyurethane on them or something like that. They're not good enough for that. They really do need to be painted. So I'll probably paint them. But for right now, I'm just going to put it together and set it under there so I can get my equipment down off the surface of the bench here and down under onto that shelf. And then I'll paint it probably in July when the family's gone. It'll just be easier to do painting then. Because painting I can't do outside because of dust and particulate and stuff blowing around, and the wind will settle down on the paint, and that's not cool. So I have to do that in the garage, and the family uses the garage quite frequently, so I need them gone for me to do that. And so I'll do that when they're in Taiwan. I'll join them in Taiwan, but only for 2 weeks. They'll probably be there for much longer than 2 weeks. But I usually do that way. They go there for longer than 2 weeks, and then I join them for the last 2 weeks, and then we come home together. So they go out there first. I usually do that because that's my chance to get anything done around here that I need to do when the family's gone. So there's some work I need to do on the house and the yard work and stuff, but mostly on the interior of the house. Anything that needs to be done. I really try to take advantage of the Taiwan trips to do that. Mrs. Thunderhand doesn't always agree with that kind of procedure, but has to be done. It has to be done. All right, let's clear out the inventory here. Bring my shield back over there. And let me see. You know what? There we go. That's a little bit better. Let's swap out spectacles. Ooh, we're going to need to sleep soon to avoid what? To avoid the phantoms, those harpies. Those vile harpies. There we go. One of the difficult things to do will be getting squiddies into here. That's going to be difficult. You know, I could do creative mode and spawn them in with the spawn eggs, but no. Nope. We're going to do that survival. Like I said, you know, there's some situations where I don't mind using creative mode a little bit here in Generations. Like for guest events and things like that, you know, I don't mind doing that. Teleporting them around, equipping them and stuff like that. Most of the time, though, I really don't have to, but... and that bio fill command to change the biome out there to a more beach friendly biome. But I don't use creative mode often in here. In fact, I very, very rarely use it. I like to try to limit myself to survival vanilla as much as I possibly can. All right, we should swim up to the surface. This stuff may have despawned up here. No, it hasn't. Good. Let's pick ourselves up some of these items. Now, see, this you think would be a good task for the allays, but you have to keep swapping their items out, and then they fly off, and I fly off, and I lose them and stuff, and I'm just not at the point of using them correctly yet. Now, I could more carefully track what kinds of coral I'm harvesting here, but you know, I'm just gonna go fill up on all the items until the shulkers are full, and then I'll take a look at what I have and make sure that each item seems pretty much represented here. See if there's anything I'm missing. But I feel like I'm doing very well. Those aquarium bubble vaders are quite small, actually. They've got some vertical volume to them, but horizontally, not much so. So we're probably getting way, way more than we need right here. All right, let's get this. Great. Okay, we're doing good at clearing out our area here. I'm thinking, let's attack this colony here next. And we are coming up on time to switch modes from sitting mode to standing mode. I could tell because it's time to, this is the last song on this song list, and we're going to have to repeat. And we've got about 4 minutes. So probably right after this tune. Grabbing ourselves all of these coral fans here. I remember the last time I did this, it was for the faux rivers that are home to the axolotls running right down the center of the lobby floor. I think that's the last time I was out here. Well, not out here at this location, but... We have some exciting things coming up for Minecraft 1.20, the 1.20 update. We're going to get the 1.19.4 in between. Poor reef. Yeah, I hear you, Dragon. I hear you. That's why I picked this reef out in the middle of nowhere. It's just so horrible to harvest these, huh? All right, so let me see. Let us, at this point, we'll restart the music, and then we'll switch from sitting to standing. We'll switch our modes. Maybe not necessarily in that order. There we go. Fine stretch right there. Let's just adjust it a wee bit. Maybe right about there. That's good. And let's go over to the other PC. And here we go. Okay, stream part 2. Let's make a minor adjustment right there. There we go. Okay, and back to work. So, welcome, Drac. Good to see you. Our co-pilot, moderator, friend of the stream. It's funny, you know how the Hollywood celebrity couples, they combine their names? So if I combine Princess Nebula and Draken, I get Princess Dracula. Cueing the eye roll from Draken in 3, 2, 1. And you know what? We should swim up to the surface and get the items that are floating about. Up there. Let's go grab some of those. And you know what? Maybe we'll try to grab some of the tropical fish too. But this is exciting, you know. As I said earlier, we really have only 3, technically 2 more things to do to the hotel and it's finished. We have these aquariums that need populating, the north wing and the south wing, north aquarium, south aquarium. And then we have the entranceway, the face of the hotel itself. And that's it. It's done. So cool because I remember designing that in creative mode with the viewers. So much fun. So I really feel like we've created this hotel together, like it's a joint effort. Cool thing about streaming. And we will wrap up Generation 5. When exactly, I'm not certain. I would like it to be 2023. I would like to finish this up. No guarantee, but finish up our builds on this server. And then launch Generation 6. I would like to do that this year if I could. But for me, it's just too heartbreaking just to abandon this and some of these builds without them reaching some sort of state of completion. They're just too dear to my heart to just walk away from them. So that's the reason why I'm staying so long on Generation 5. Generation 5 is probably the most near and dear to my heart. Although Generation 3 is actually very, very close. If I could only find the backups for Generation 3. You know, it's too bad because I had, for a while, for this older system, I was using an SSD from a laptop that one of my friends gave me for free. And when I upgraded, I wiped that SSD and I trashed it. But in hindsight, I'm thinking I had a copy of Generation 3 on that. And the thing with Generation 3 is I'm pretty sure I have it backed up somewhere. It's just the folder in which it resides is just improperly named. which is very rare for me. Usually I'm very, very diligent at backups and naming conventions and stuff. I'm really good at that. I have all of our generations all the way back to generation 1, back from 2013. All archived, labeled, everything, different stages of them too. But for some reason, I cannot pinpoint generation 3. So I'm wondering what happened with that. Because that is very unlikely, unlike me to not have a meticulously organized and labeled backup for any of my files. Never mind just the Minecraft maps. I'm very, very good at those routines. Those are transferable skills from engineering and from education. Yeah, documentation is a very prolific Thunderhand skill. All right, get up to the surface here and let's grab some of these items floating about. Doing a pretty good job here. Oh, wow. Thankfully, we've had the conduit here. And I think the conduit is keeping the drowns from spawning there. I just noticed that now in amongst the... And I've actually been out here earlier too, so... And I did not see that ruins there. Ugh. We would have been being swarmed with drowns by now. Which isn't that really that big of a deal, except for the tridents, right? So I wonder if this ruins has anything to it. And are there others? No, it looks like it's just this one structure, right? Okay. Looks like it's just this one structure. Slim pickings. I am not impressed. Not a lot to be had there. Okay, I think we're doing well here. What do we got? So we have this shulker here. So we have one shulker. Almost 2 shulkers, and they're not even really full. Okay, good. We got rid of those shears. Great. Again, we'll get the kelp. We'll get the kelp off the shore of Mushroom Island there in the swimming area. All right, I think we're ready to hack down this colony right here. I'm thinking Generation 6 is going to be very different than Generation 5. Very different. Main difference for Generation 6 will be pacing. Generation 6 is going to move along a lot faster because I've learned a lot about pacing from Generation 5 and from Buffooncraft. So, and I think Baby Zombie Rush and is going to appear in Generation 6. I'm pretty sure. Because we're actually quite a bit closer to launching Baby Zombie Rush. We really are. I think we have enough features in the maze for contestants to make a decent run, to make it interesting for them. So, and to make it fun to watch. And then we can still design more features for it, but I think we have enough to start it. And then while we're using it, we can just add features to it. Every other week, we can add a new feature to it. That's also good for keeping potential contestants on their toes too, right? So. All right, yeah, let's work on this colony right here now. You can see we're doing a fine job of clearing out this area. I was contemplating, no, that's a little pretentious. I was considering setting up a beacon down here as well with maybe some speed or some haste on it, but I don't think it's necessary. I think we're doing just fine. I think we're making acceptable progress. This is probably way more seagrass than we need, but it's Generations, right? So okay. I'm hoping I'm able to raid out today. Because I do have a little time for that today. And I may end the stream a little bit early. By a little bit, I mean like 5 or 10 minutes early. And the sun has gone back behind the clouds once more, which is not good for us out here. We just need the rain to subside. Just give us a couple of days to dry out, please. Please. I mean, it's good for the drought and stuff, but, you know, we need a break. A little bit of a break. Then we're going to need to take another swim up to the surface and get the items that are floating about up there. What are we doing for time here? 1:13. Got plenty of time. Plenty of time. And it's nighttime too. So as both Nebsy and I were remarking earlier, we should do some sleeping here. So we don't have to deal with the phantoms. There we are. Those bad EB words. We don't have to deal with them. Let me see. I think I was over this way, right? Clearing out this colony right here. And even if I wasn't, it's good enough to resume here. All right. Let's go collect the stuff at the surface here. I think our inventory's getting a little full too. Great. That's looking good. Oh, so earlier when I opened the stream, I was trying to do my lightning command and it wasn't working. And then I added the underscore between the two words and then the command kicked in. That's the difference. I think commands that formerly had a space now have an underscore. I think that was a 1.19.3 change. It could have been a 0.2 change, but I think it's a 0.3 change. So I think those multi-word commands now have an underscore attaching both words. All right, what's next? Maybe, how am I doing for time here? 1:16. Maybe I'll clear out this colony next here. And that's not a maybe, that's definitely. Let us do this one next. Okay, cool. Let's get that. Okay, I think all the greenery has been removed. Maybe. Let's get this. Okay. Okay, very cool. You know what's really cool about this is we still have the portal room that needs to be finished. And that requires a lot of coral still to do the floor in there. And any of this excess coral that we don't use, we can use there. Also, even if I use the biome fill command to change that area in front of Mushroom Island into a warm ocean for the beach, I'm still going to have to terraform it. And so this excess stuff I can use there. End portal room. Yes, the end portal room. You've seen the end portal room. You have used it. Although it has been a very long time since viewers have seen that. I think it's one of the coolest builds I have on here as far as the aesthetic of it. Came out really cool. I have used it, but I thought it was just about done. It is just about done. The floor, though, needs to be finished on it. And there's one feature I want to put over the portal itself that's going to look super cool. Then that room will be pretty much finished. It's one of those things where you know, the viewers really wanted to see the hotel finished before they wanted to see that, and so I prioritized the hotel, which I don't really mind doing. But I would like to get back to that before and finish that up before I move on to Generation 6. There's also a Skelly spawner there that's practically part of that room. And I would like to trick out that Skelly spawner. Not really because we need the bones, because we do have the Mob spawner that produces way more. But I have a very silly design for a skeleton farm, Skelly spawner farm. It's very silly and super cool, and I have reserved that Skelly spawner for said farm. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. 121. Okay, I think we're doing well here. When I log off, I think I'm going to log off in this area, and I'll continue here. Off camera, I'll try to get the tropical fish from this area if I can. So, where should I clear out next? I'm looking at maybe this colony next. It's cool how the reef extends down into this rift here, this ravine. And look, it heads on down to deep slate level too. And now you get the coral. Ooh, diamonds! You get the coral here against the deep slate. Oh, which looks really cool. I mean, it's so colorful, and this is so dark. I think we got it. I don't think any escaped upward to the surface. Maybe. I thought I saw one block go past me. Oh, one thing I just wanted to try while I'm on camera here is see if I could scoop up the tropical fish. Eh? Hmm? Oh, do I need a bucket of water to scoop them up and not an empty bucket? Duh. Let's try this. Sorry, fishies. There's got to be a little school of them. Dolphin! There's got to be a little school of them swimming about somewhere. But I probably scared them all off by whacking them with the empty bucket. How about this guy? Okay, we got him. Now, when I get one... How many are in the bucket? Just one? Oh, look, we've got these guys too. Oh, but see, they need different types, right? They need a bucket for each type. Where did they go? There they are, right in front of me. Oof. So we can get the different types of tropical fishies. Get that little kind of clownfish there. Let's see if I can get that brown one. You, come here. Get in my bucket. See if we can get some of these dudes. And then some of those dudes. Plus we can get these off a wandering trader too, I believe. So since BZR is almost figured out, Are all the Wednesday streams going to be the main World Generations? No, I'm still going to do Baby Zombie Rush design. I'm just going to try to think of like new features to add week by week, and I'll swap out some old features, put new features in, and things like that. So make the maze bigger, maybe things like that. Take some of the features that I already have and optimize them and make them run better. Things like that. Until, I get to a point where I think I've done everything I need to do with Baby Zombie Rush. And then we'll use the design stream for other things. For example, I have an incredibly cool idea for a iron farm. And I'm not sure if I'm going to build it in Generation 6 or I'm going to build it in Buffooncraft Season 5. I might not do it in Buffooncraft Season 5 because the pace is so fast on that server. I don't know if I'll be able to get it going in time. It's a colossal iron farm, but it can be built modularly. One module at a time, and so I can just quickly build one module very, very fast, and so to get it to produce iron, and then I can add modules onto it as I get more and more resources, and I'm pretty sure I can build it early game. So I'm gonna have to talk to the prime buffoons about that. So instead of this season each one of us having our own farms, we may wind up going. There had been some talk about each buffoon being the steward of one farm that the entire server uses. Like maybe Nebs would be the steward of the tree farm, and that would be at her base, and she would manage and AFK and stuff for the tree farm. Maybe I would do the iron farm, maybe and we would do farms like that for each of the buffoons, right? So that idea had been discussed in the past. I don't know if we're going to do that or not, though. But things I have my eye on for Season 5 of Buffooncraft would be going to ask if I can do the community iron farm if we're going that route. And also, and if not, to see if I could be in on the trading hall. Because I love building trading halls, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. As annoying as villages are to work with, I like making trading halls. And I think this Season 4 Buffooncraft, I think I came up with a really cool aesthetic for the trading hall, if you could see the one at my base. I like how sleek it is and how open it is and stuff. And so then throughout the season, I can add to it. I can start out with the standard librarians, farmers, and clerics, and then I can add the other villagers on. And again, we'll probably wind up building it in the Nether. You know what? I'll just add those extra items right in here, like this. Clear out the inventory. Put everything in the shulkers. And how am I doing for time here? 128. All right. I think I have these guys right here, but just in case I don't. Fuck. I need to be doing that. That's what I need. I think I have those guys. I think we are making excellent progress on our resources here. Yeah, I think I was working over in this general area. And even if I wasn't, I am now. Also, one new stream feature segment thing I'm going to add is usually when I update the generation server to a new release, I'll just upload a random map just to see how it works, and just run that map for a couple of days and just play on it, because it's a new game, right? It's a new map, it's a new game, and so I think I'll do that. I think I'll actually make that a stream feature. So when 1.19.4 comes out, I'll temporarily load a new map onto the server, and Kachi and I will play that new map in a hardcore kind of fashion, which won't last long. I'll probably do that on Wednesdays, just so we get that new gameplay in there. Ooh, puffy fish. Should I put a puffer fish in the aquarium? Ooh, look at that black and red one. We don't have one of these. Gotcha. What about you, puffer fish? Can you catch a puffer fish in a bucket? I guess you can. Okay, there we go. That will be the last fish that goes in the aquarium. These guys, I think we have some of these. Maybe we do. But just in case we don't. By the way, I'm thinking we're going to have to name tag all of these fish to keep them from despawning. I think we do. I'm not 100% certain. If so, that is going to suck. I'm not looking forward to that. Let me see. 132. How am I doing here? Let's choose another colony here. How about this over here? Let's do that. Okay. Let's get some of the greenery out of here. Okay. Fuck. Alrighty, we're almost there. Another pufferfish. Now, I know we have those for certain dolphins. I don't know if we're going to be able to put dolphins in the aquarium tanks or if we even should. I don't know. I'm thinking somehow I can get them to hang around in the beach area out in front of the hotel. I think that would be better. It's so hard to have them keep put, though. So difficult to confine them to an area. Which I think is by design. Jeb, right? Got about 10 minutes. And it looks like the sun is going down. Sun is getting low. Looks like we're going to have to do some sleeping here. Right, let's do our sleeping. Hey, there's a drown over there. Did you guys see that? Where did you come from? Well, now. Hey, do we have any of these ones? I don't remember us getting these ones. This feels like Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. There we go. And let's empty the inventory. Right. We're good. We're good. Yeah, we've got those. How about these ones? I think we got these. How about these ones? Yeah, I know we've gotten some of these. Oh, that little purpley one, though. I don't think we've gotten him. Where did he go? Now, can I get just him? Yes, we got him. Great. Squiddy! So how are we going to get the squids in there, people? Because we need glow squiddies. How are we going to get the squids into that tower? Into those bubble vaders? Neb's not feeling well after lunch and has gone to lay down. Okay. Thank you, Drac. We're near the end of the stream anyway, so. Let me see. I feel like we have about 6 more minutes. Certainly have a lot of greenery over here. We can use up our shears, so let's do this. And again, I'm going to log off in this area too and continue a little bit more of this. Not much more of it though, off camera. All right, this is looking good. Alrighty. Get these greenery bits here. Right. Nice. And we'll just get this last little bit here, and I think we're going to call it a stream at that point. We're not going to end the stream at 1:45, but I'll switch to the office cam, the webcam, and we'll do some stuff, and then raid out, and then we should be good. If there's anybody to whom I feel like raiding, I hope there is today. Just remember, if you happen to be lurking in the stream right now and you do have a suggestion for a raid, I'm always up to consider it. Yeah, I like this. I think we have done a very, very, very well indeed here. A couple other items we're going to need is some glow lichen. Again, some kelp, but you know, we can get that right near the hotel itself. And so I'm going to log off right here. Well, maybe I should swim to the surface first. And if there's any floaties up here, I don't think there is. I think we did a very good job in grabbing things, or it's despawned, one or the other. So let's head on back down here. And let's log off here, underwater, in the midst of this coral reef that now has a big empty bald spot in the middle of it next to our conduit. And we're going to log off right here. Okay, so let's switch over to the cam scene. There he is. There we are. And let's log out over here. I'm disconnecting so I don't die. And let me see. Let's do this. So if you guys haven't been checking out the Discord, Let me share this with you. Should be under the general, on the general channel. All right, let's move back over to here. Okay, so this is the bench attachment that's currently in the garage right now, taking up the space and annoying Mrs. Thunderhand. So this is going to be an attaching shelf that attaches onto this workbench here. So underneath I can get the PCs, so they won't be on the floor. They'll be up there. It'll be nice and clean, but they'll be safely tucked away underneath the bench down there. It's made out of reclaimed pine, so I got some pine boards, 10-footers, 12-footers, and they're pretty warped and skewed over their entire length, but there are lengths enough where they're straight enough where I can use them for this. And plus, some of them, I moistened them down and then reset them and got them pretty straight. But again, we're not doing fine furniture here. It's pretty rough furniture. It's going to be down under the bench where nobody sees it. So, yeah, it's got all those knots in it and stuff like that. But again, I'm not that concerned about it. Sustainable wood, reclaimed wood, I got it for next to nothing. So, going to use that to make the bench. So I'll do some progression picks as I go along. Today I'm probably going to put the runners across these two boards like this, put the other cleat onto this side, and then the final runner that's going to go right about down here, I can bring these over. Before I attach this to the other ones, I have some measurements and some features I have to add. But I'll do some before and after pics and show you guys when this is finished. I like doing this kind of stuff. I still have some woodworking skills left over from the day. I don't really have a lot of space and a lot in the way of tools here with which to do that. And that's a little bit sad. But, smaller things like this, I can still do that in the garage as long as I don't take too many days away, because we still use the garage for storage. One thing about these houses where we're at in this area of California is they have next to nothing storage. No storage at all, practically. So, you're a family of 4, and our kids, Biggie's a young adult now. So we have 3 adults in the house. Kachi's getting older himself. He's 11. He'll be 12 soon. They're just really not made for more than 2 adults and 2 small kids. There's just no place to store all the stuff. So we've been making very good efforts, mostly by myself, of getting rid of a lot of stuff. That's critical to storage. And trying to create new storage spaces around here and stuff, it's really difficult to do. So there's not a lot of room in which to work here. There's no way I can have like a workshop here. There just isn't. And plus I already feel, I already took one of the 4 bedrooms here for the studio / office here. And which was one of my requirements to move out here from my house in New England. So I've already taken up one of the 4 rooms. It's not a problem, because we have the master bedroom for Mrs. Thunder and myself, and then Biggie has his own room, and Kachi has his own room. So 3 bedrooms is all we need. So I just asked, look, if I'm going to move out here, it's not going to be my house. Can I at least have one room that's mine? So I already have that. So it's kind of hard to then say, well, I'm going to take the garage now too. So plus we need the garage to keep the cars safe. And we need it for storage too. So, but I can only use it here for these small kinds of projects here. I can't really do too much. I'd like to have a bandsaw and stuff, but there's no room for. I'd like to have a lathe, Bridgeport CNC machine. There's just no room to put that stuff. But we could do small things like this. So, like I said, I'll post some pics on this, and it should be done probably this week. Then we can install it, and then I can take the second PC off the test bench and put it over in the install it in its case and stuff like that, and get it down off the bench top here and where it's safe down there. And then I might take the first PC, the old PC, and I might just upgrade that. I might do it this weekend. I might do it next weekend because then the test bench will be clear, and I can take the upgraded motherboard, CPU, RAM, and install it onto that. Then just pop out the old GTX board out of this old system, stick it on there, fire it up, and get it running, and do the upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And get that all situated, and then move it back into its case. Plus, I do my yearly maintenance on it, get all the dust out of it, clear it all out, stuff and everything. So that kind of stuff is coming up, and let's enough of that. Let's see if we want to raid out to anybody this afternoon. I'll switch back to webcam only, and let's take a look. Come on, phone, power up now. Please. Power up. There it is. Okay. When you let the battery run down on the Google Pixel, starting it back up usually takes a minute or two. There we go. And like this. And let's get the Twitch open. Here we go. Good Lord. So Turbo right now is doing a Call of Duty stream, but good Lord, JW89 is streaming FIFA right now. So it's not Minecraft. Plus, JStream could be PG-13 with the language sometimes. So family-friendly viewers, just giving you that heads up before we head over there. But let's go raid Jay, because dude, I miss him. Jay's one of our fellow buffoons, and he hasn't been too active on the server lately. Although he did pop on a few days back. But I do miss him dearly. He's one of our funniest lads over there. And let's go raid our good friend JW. So if we're going to do the raid, then we need to have our raid message up there. Not that. But that's a little Thunder Raid, boom shakalaka. If you're looking and you would like to join us over at JStream, you can copy and paste that into the chat. And I do encourage you to. Jay's a great, really fun guy, and fellow buffoon. And if you don't have time to stick around, at least drop in, say hi. And if you feel so inclined, a follow and maybe even a sub. You won't regret it. He's a lot of fun to watch. So let's go set up the raid. And let's go do this. There it is. There we go. So remember, mature audiences, PG-13 language, a little bit for the family-friendly viewers. And let's go over and let's say hi to Jay. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by. Remember, we do this stream every Wednesday from noon to 2 Pacific Standard Time. Next Wednesday will be a Baby Zombie Rush design stream for Generations. Our next stream will be Friday from 3 to 5. That'll be Buffooncraft. Have some excellent, really difficult things to build, but really cool things for Buffooncraft. And we made some progress on Kachi Time last Sunday, and so we'll do another Kachi Time stream. We fully expect to have that up and running Sunday from 4 to 6. Please stop by for Kachi Time. It was actually a lot of fun last time, although there was still some technical stuff, issues that we were still dealing with and everything. But for the most part, we got most of what we wanted to get done there. So please check that out. And with that, let us do the raid. Bye for now, everyone.